Hi. So I just finished my first week of The Artist Way, and I was inspired by Dochi, who made videos tracking her um, experience with this course, and I wanted to do the same. So there's this end of the week check-in for each chapter, and chapter one was called Recovering a Sense of Safety. So let's start with the questions. First, how many days this week did you do your morning pages? 7 out of 7. We always hope. How was the experience for you? So basically what this book asks is when you wake up in the morning, you have to do just morning pages where you just write 3 pages of just everything on your mind. And I am really proud of myself. I was able to do them every single week. Oop, I ripped a page out. But every single day I was able to do a morning page. I feel like at the beginning of the week, my entries were really depressing. I was just beating myself up about just where I am in my life and how I'm doing. And I did notice that as I kept writing, the book says something interesting about how if you are complaining, it's hard to complain about the same thing over and over again without igniting change. And I found that my entries were getting more and more positive with each day, I would say, or more determined. I don't know. The next thing that it asks is about the artist date. Every week we have to take ourselves on an artist date. And this week, my artist date was I took myself to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I work at a school pretty close by, and I just walked over and I listened to Studio Ghibli music, and I looked at all the paintings, and it was really amazing. The Van Gogh stuff especially, it tugged at my heartstrings. It was so amazing to see these paintings that I have seen so many times on my screen, just the real thing right in front of me. Oh my God, it was beautiful, and it was nice to be alone. I actually did have a revelation while I was at the Met. I feel there was a part of me that was oh my gosh, I need to take a selfie for my story, or I need to think of some kind of, I'm not an influencer by the way, but I was I need to think of some kind of TikTok I can make to hopefully finally go viral or something. And it was actually this experience at the Met that made me delete TikTok, because it made me think I am an actor and a screenwriter. I am not an influencer. I'm not trying to be an influencer. And just to focus on what matters to me and stop feeling that pressure of having to post and have to be perceived. The reason I'm posting this is because I'm not gonna tell any of my friends that I posted this on my YouTube, but I just wanted to track my progress, and I'm trying to open myself up a little bit to the universe. And maybe if you are seeing this, maybe you're meant to see this, and we can go on this journey together, and you can check in or not at the 3 viewers that might watch this. Okay, talking in front of a camera is such in front of a iPhone camera as myself is such an awkward experience. I feel frantic. So let's go through some of the weekly tasks that it asked to do. So the first thing I did was to time travel and list 3 old creative enemies. And I found that really interesting, and I felt a lot of release writing these enemies down. It's actually really interesting because the people that I wrote down are actually people that I respect and adore to this day. I'm not gonna name drop in this video, but the people that I have no bad blood towards, but they really had moments of making me feel really terrible about myself in some ways, and my upbringing, and I'm sure that wasn't intentional. But one of them was a friend that was just had way more success than me in middle school, and elementary school and high school as an actor and a writer, and they were like the favorite of all the teachers. And I found myself, I actually ended up quitting writing because in my 13-year-old brain, I was like, why write if he gets all this recognition? I feel like I'd be just embarrassing myself. So I actually quit, which I've like rekindled that passion now. But I stuck with acting, and I'm currently auditioning and submitting my feature screenplay for competitions and stuff. So the second person was a teacher who was an incredible teacher. It was a lot of tough love, but there were like some situations where they were especially really derogatory and belittling to me. It just made me feel really bad, and hurt my self-esteem. But in a lot of other ways, this teacher made me a lot tougher. Then the final person was another friend, and I was kind of this person's bitch boy a little bit, and I had to get approval from this person constantly, and she made me feel like she knew everything and I knew nothing, and that's something that I carried with me into life. My 3 creative champions, I can list them, and I'd love to just thank them to this camera. Okay, so the first one I put down was Mrs. Kimberly Saunders Randall. She was my voice teacher in high school, and she was so invested in me and so real with me and uplifted me. And I'll never forget when I would actually do a good job on stage, she would always say, "Good job, Van," and she'd give me a hug. And I still talk to her. Every time I go back to Florida, she always is there wanting to meet up and grab a coffee or do a voice lesson. And she really made me feel inspired. The second person was Dr. Herendine from Oklahoma City University. He was the head of the musical theater program, and I worked as his student assistant for the time I was at OCU. And even to this day, this man, he believes in me. He has this just spiritual sense of believing that everything in my life is going to be okay. He always says that I'm a gem and that he thinks I'm so talented and that there's a special place for me. And to have someone like that, like especially when you graduate college and you're becoming an adult, to have somebody that really, really just cares about you and believes in you is a very special thing. Third person I listed, and by the way, I made a conscious effort not to list the obvious people. So my parents have been amazing uplifters and supporters, but I felt like that was obvious to put down. And then also my best friend Pooja and all of like my amazing support system. Like I could write them down, but I wanted to go more of a mentor route with these creative champions. But the last one I put was Beth Marshall, she's my current acting coach. And my senior year, she awarded me with the senior scholarship after Thespians, and always made me feel so seen. And she is another one that always felt so invested in me and is such a great teacher and keeps it so real. And I just think that to invest in a young artist, just really care about a young artist, it just goes miles and miles and miles. And these 3 have just done so amazing in making me feel seen and cared for. All right. What else do we got? Happy pieces of encouragement. I feel like that'd be kind of narcissistic of me to go down and say all the nice things people said, but I wrote a few bullet points of just, I think everyone in their life has those things that people said to them that they just never forgot. There's some really nice ones in here that just I hold really close to my heart. Depressing. Oh my god, these morning entries, like, I'm not supposed to read them and I'm not going to, but it's depressing. A lot of them. Imaginary lives. So the first thing, so the assignment was for me to list 5 different imaginary lives that I could live. Um, if I wasn't an actor or a screenwriter pursuing this. So the first thing I said was, I wish I was a cartoon or video game storyboarder. Like, oh my God, I'd love to storyboard like a Pokemon game. I would love to storyboard like a Steven Universe episode or something in that Rebecca Sugar universe. I love like that magical fantasy kind of vibe. And that would just be a dream to like spend my days creating little universes. I would love that. Talk show host. I feel like I would eat, I don't know. I would love to be a talk show host. I don't know what like I would need to do to get there. And right now I'm really focused on acting and screenwriting, but who knows? Like to be like a Drew Barrymore type person and just have people on my show and make them feel really loved and comfortable. And I love asking questions to people. And I think I have a lot of good questions to ask. So I think I'd be a good talk show host. And also, I feel like I'd be adorable. I don't know. Okay. Wildlife reporter is my third. Kind of like a Steve Irwin, Robert Irwin vibe. I love the outdoors so much. Whoa, ghost in my room. I love the outdoors so much, and I would love to be like getting all grimy in the forest and taking pictures and videos of wild animals and being the one in front of the camera like, oh mate, this is a porpoise and it jumps really high and swims into the... I don't have any kind of credentials to be doing that, but that'd be real fun. 4, a pop star. A lot of times I'll listen to music and I'll like imagine myself like, it's never at a big venue. I imagine myself in like a small like secret New York venue and all of my friends come and they're like, oh, like what's this gonna be? Vangelis singing pop. And then I'm singing the song I'm listening to in my headphones and I'm like rocking out, and then I see my crush in the audience and I look him up and down. I'm like, I smile. You know what I mean? Oh my God. I'm sure everyone has had this like pop star fantasy, but I don't know. I don't know how to write music, and I don't know if that's in the cards for me. But that's number 4. The number 5, I said owner of a bookshop, thrift shop, or cafe by the sea in Greece, or maybe by like a field or mountainside. I think I was looking at my like little vision board and seeing all like the nature stuff and like the beauty, and just to be surrounded by that kind of beauty every day. That sounds awesome. So this was a big one. This was blurbs and affirmations. So you had to like write a blurb, which is basically something negative you think about yourself, and then you respond to the blurb with an affirmation. So my first blurb is that I am unmarketable. And then my affirmation, I said, I'm a unique bundle of eccentricities, and there's a special place for me in the world. I feel like I've often felt like, I don't know, like my voice is too weird, or I can't really sing very high, and sometimes I can be a little unpolished, and, you know, sometimes I wonder if in the real world I'm not commercially digestible. But I'm trying to work very hard and overcome that. Next blurb, I said, I am expiring. And my affirmation was, I grow better with age. There's this whole thing, especially in like the acting world, where it's like, you got to make it when you're young. Like when you're young, you're in your prime. And you can't really notice right now because I had to film a self-tape for a high schooler. So I sprayed like black hair dye in the sides of my hair. But I am majorly going gray. And I mean, I'm thinking of just dyeing it all together, but I see my age. I'm really starting to see my age. And to support myself while I'm a performer, I work as a high school teacher. And it's just made me feel so old. And like, just I'm not like this young, fresh, youthful person. And I'm just expiring and falling behind while everyone else is moving forward. But no, I'm saying I grow better with age. Actually, I wrote a screenplay. It's called Imposter Syndrome. It's what I'm submitting to competitions right now. But it has to do a lot with approaching your mid-20s and feeling like you're expiring and like everyone else is doing all these amazing things while you feel like you're stuck in time. It's like a screenplay is a magical realism rom-com, and my dream is to one day star in it as the character I wrote for myself. Anyway, blurb. I will never be good enough. I always, always, always feel this. But the affirmation, I went back and forth with a lot of affirmations, but I wrote down, I am exactly what somebody is looking for, which I think that's very, very powerful. And I think in a sense, everybody is exactly who someone is looking for. It's been a really amazing time trying to make it as a performer and writer in New York City. It's been amazing and I've met amazing people, but it's also been really, really hard. And I don't think I've done anything monumental with my career yet, but I'm really hoping one day I can look back on these videos and feel proud of myself and how far I've come. So anyway, the next chapter for this, it's going to be week 2, recovering a sense of identity, which I'm really excited about that one. Figuring out like, who am I? But recovering a sense of safety, I think it really has helped me recover a sense of safety this week. I'm feeling less concerned about what other people think and more motivated to just like really, really go for it and go for my dreams. Anyway, if you are on a similar journey, I wish you the best of luck. We will do this together. We will succeed together. And I'm grateful to be starting this. And thank you, Doechii, for the inspiration. And I love you. Is that weird to say? I love you. Have a great, great, great day.